Welcome back, everyone, to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, as we are now at war with the Americans. I'm trying to figure out why the British flag has changed. Did they have a change in government of some kind? Let's take a look at the British government for a second. Democracy. Oh, so they're no longer a constitutional monarchy? That's interesting. Or did they always show as a democracy? I don't know. I feel like something has changed. The flag's the same here. But that's kind of interesting. So 110 ships, though, 21 battleships. But we're not at war with them. We're at war with the Americans. And we're going to have to try and pick a fight wherever we can. I've got this fleet kind of sitting outside of his ports here, and I'm hoping we can make something happen there. In the meantime, we are continuing to build some new battleships that are just 16 months away right now. And obviously, we're going to want to put them in one of our Western European ports so we can immediately get them out there as soon as possible. We're also building some light cruisers for the Korean Empire. Make a little profit that way. Well, this is important. We were at minus 97 with the British, which meant that anything bad that happened would have put us into war. So I worked on improving relations, and we got a plus 18, which was desperately needed. I do have a nice fleet that's ready to go here in Kiel, including a couple of our newest battleships, these big Crown Prince battleships, plus one of our older ones, a König class. So we're going to send this out there. I'm looking to see if there are any American fleets anywhere in the region, and there don't appear to be. So I think we're going to have to send them down. Looks like a lot of the American fleets are kind of floating around in the central Atlantic. But I think I'll probably send this fleet over here as well to try and pick a fight with the Americans here. It takes 3 turns to get them over there. Here's some new tech, the auxiliary petrol engine. So for the first time, we have an opportunity to use gasoline in an engine. Hopefully that will improve some things. We've been working on some warships for the Koreans. Right now, let's take a look, because we're actually building a whole bunch of them, and that's a bit of our capacity. What is our capacity total right now? We're actually only using 96 of our 149, so we could actually build some more ships if we want to. Only a minus 23 million on the monthly balance. So I might go ahead, let's go look at research for a minute, see what's coming up soon. We're going to get small gun barrels too. Nothing else real close. Torpedo mechanisms too. But nothing else is going to make a big difference on our guns. So I think we can go ahead and go back into our ship design and see what new idea we can come up with for our ships. So this ship's not a lot different than the last one that we built. It's got a little more range, I think, than the last one. But we've got the multiple expansion steam engine 2. We've got the aux engine for the first time. So those are a couple of new features. And instead of putting 3 turrets up front and 1 in the rear, I'm doing 2 and 2 in kind of a standard configuration with a whole bunch of 8-inch guns on the side here. So good stopping power for the smaller ships that we deal with. So we'll produce a couple of those. They're going to be 220 million apiece for those new ones. Well, we're going big on our very first engagement with the United States. It's going to happen here off the coast of the U.S., and we're going to have the Mecklenburg, the Crown Prince, and the Ostfriesland. So we've got 2 of our brand new ships. Those are the ones that have, they're not the newest new ones, the ones that have 4 turrets. These still just have 3 turrets, but they're still pretty good ships. I'm excited to take them out. His battleships that he's bringing into this one are much smaller. And then, of course, an assortment of other ships. We're pretty even. So this should be a good way to introduce ourselves to the Americans. All right, his fleet's coming into view. I'm divided into 3 squadrons here. I've got my light cruisers along with 1 destroyer, which really is just about making a torpedo run. Those are on one side. My battleships are in the middle. My heavy cruisers are over here on the right. So I'm going to bring the heavy cruisers around to the right. I'm going to go ahead and go straight at him with the battleships. I think I'll kind of come to this side. And then we're going to do the same with the light cruisers. Which I think we should probably go ahead and tell the light cruisers to get their smoke going. definitely going to have to slow things down while we manage everything at first here. The Pennsylvania. Oh, now we're seeing some American battleships. Still old tech, though. You got 14 inches of armor, 13-inch guns. I mean, so the guns are as big as ours. And right now, it's our heavy cruisers that are facing off against these battleships. I'm going to go ahead and slow my battleships down to get the accuracy up, which is already pretty good. It's at 22%. We just landed a nice shot on the Huron. Oh yeah, the Huron's getting lit up. They're toast. Took big hits from one of my battleships. Light cruisers are already past his squadron, so we're going to have to start bringing them around. 1.5 kilometer range on our torpedoes now. There goes one of his torpedo boats. We'll start swinging around this way with the heavy cruisers. Pennsylvania's already taken some damage. Funny thing is, nobody's really focusing on my battleships too much. I guess his heavy cruisers are. Oh, wow, no way. The Pennsylvania just took a massive hit. Hold on, I want to see. That was a flash fire. But that was like a 13,000 damage hit. Interesting. It was a 9-inch hit from a heavy cruiser that started the fire. That was the heavy cruiser that sank this ship, not one of my battleships. Lovely. Which heavy cruisers are these? These are the Limburg, the Sedlitz, and the Veneta. Alright. I'm thinking what we're going to do now is we're going to swing the light cruisers around. I don't even know what ship this is that we're about to sink. That looks like it's a light cruiser. I'm going to swing the light cruiser squadron around here. We're going to get them into a tighter formation. And we're going to start throwing torpedoes at him. We're going to try to get in close enough to do that. Let's just keep going straight with the battleship. Huron sinking. There goes his light cruiser over there. Yeah, the U.S. just does not have the firepower or the technology to deal with me. I think our battleships will just kind of stay in this battle line going straight for now. Keep our accuracy as high as we can get it. Ostfriedland only has 11-inch guns on it, but the Crown Prince 13s. This is one of our ships that has the 3 turrets up front. Oh yeah, they just did some major damage to the Boston. Mecklenburg's the same way. It's not an ideal design when you're talking about trying to protect the citadel and protect the armored, the areas where the powder is. Well, I guess maybe it is because it's all up front, so you can just kind of protect that area there. Alright, our light cruisers are coming in now. He's just out of torpedo range. Problem is here, if I try to put a torpedo on him now, it might run right into the wreckage of the Boston. Yep, there goes the torpedoes too. And that's a tough angle. He's got plenty of time to get away from that one. Alright, let's bring our... Oh, we got... Veneta took some damage. That was a 13-inch hit from the battleship. Aft belt penetration, 3,500 damage. Must have been from the Belknap. Alright, our battleships are kind of out of range for doing anything significant at the moment. At least to his battleships. Alright, let's get our smoke going again from our light cruisers. Battleship just nailed the Tennessee. So even if our torpedoes don't get in the water and finish Tennessee, I think the battleship will. I'm actually going to tell the battleship to start focusing on his battleship, even though they're pretty far away. Yep, there we go. We got a torpedo hit on the Tennessee. Didn't do a lot of damage, but it did cause some flooding in some key spots. And it might be enough to sink it. Alright, I need to start bringing my battleships in a little closer here. Alright, boys, we got to finish off the Tennessee. There goes the Belknap. Whoa, whoa, what happened to the Belknap? I must have missed something there. He only took one big hit. He didn't take any big damage hits. Yeah, he only took 1,100 in damage. Interesting. There goes the Tennessee. There goes the Santa Fe. Tell you what, this is one of those. Oh boy, there's a torpedo, and it was a dud. I don't even know who fired that. That had to have been one of our own torpedoes, because I wasn't paying close attention to what was happening there. This is one of those battles where all of our ships, it hasn't just been the battleships doing all the big damage. All of our ships definitely have played a role here. Now we just got to finish off these last couple of light cruisers and this one heavy cruiser, the Macon. So now it's my battleships pursuing his light cruisers. One of my heavy cruisers is it's slow because of its damage, and they got kind of caught behind everybody else. Veneta does have torpedoes. Now it looks like they repaired themselves now. They're damaged, but they are still kind of far behind here. I'm going to detach them so they can kind of do their own thing. Alright, let's finish this guy, the Macon. I'm actually going to detach this light cruiser as well and kind of send them off. Then we're going to come up with the Rotterdam. See if Rotterdam can put some finishing touches on. There's a couple of big hits on his light cruisers up there, including the Indianapolis. All right, Rotterdam. All right, Veneta is really close here. They're taking a lot of damage, so we got to be careful. There goes the Indianapolis. Sounds like somebody just took a big shot. Alright, Rotterdam's coming up right alongside. We're going to put a torpedo right into this, right into the Macon at close range. And that should be enough to finish them off. Oh, he put one into me. Oh, I should have been slower. That was 4,000 damage. I definitely should have slowed the time down. Why are we not firing our torpedo here, Rotterdam? Alright, Boise sank. That means there's one more. The Marblehead. Oh, the Rotterdam's gonna sink. Come on, baby. Hang on. Hang on. No more flooding. I sent them on a torpedo run. They still haven't fired their torpedoes. I don't know if there's some damage. There's a torpedo hit by somebody. Rotterdam has caused 5,000 in damage, though. Oh, they did get a torpedo hit. But it wasn't recent. It was in this battle, though. Alright, I'm not sure, now that the weather's gotten much worse. You can see how much worse the weather's gotten. I'm not sure we're going to be able to finish off these last couple of ships, but we've already won an overwhelming victory, so that's not a huge deal. Oh, I do want to finish off the Macon. He's doing a lot of damage to me in the meantime. Alright, you know what? Let's separate the Rotterdam out. Then let's get these guys going. I'm going to try and come up and finish this guy. Let's get aggressive with our torpedoes. Oh, there's a torpedo hit from somebody. It's from one of the light cruisers. And that might be enough to do the job. That might have been the Cormoran, because they did fire one. Oh no, now they're going to take one. Oh boy, that didn't do nearly the damage as the one that hit the Rotterdam, though. There we go, Macon sank. Alright, we'll take it. So we took some damage, particularly to the Veneta and to the Rotterdam. But again, major victory. 6,000 crew lost for the Americans. Big dent in their navy right off the bat. That's the way we like to start things off in a new war. Well, we're going to get a nice bump to our naval funds. We could cause a little unrest, but get 610 million in funds. I think we'll do that. This is a transport strike. I think we're just going to go ahead and auto-resolve that. We sank 3 of the transports at the port of New York. We can get a 12,000-ton heavy cruiser now. So the heavy cruisers are getting bigger and bigger all the time here. They want to buy a heavy cruiser. No, I don't want to add that much to my shipbuilding capacity. We're building quite a few ships right now. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Because we still have 14 months to go on these 2 battleships. We have 4 months to 6 months and 23 months to go. Oh, I didn't even know that somehow they asked me to build them a battleship. I'm not gonna build them a battleship. That's just way too much of my shipbuilding capacity spent on someone else. So I'm not gonna do that. So I think that'll help some. We're doing a little bit of repairs. I think the repairs are done. Finances, we're a little bit over on our shipbuilding capacity at the moment, but that's not a huge deal. That'll catch up pretty soon. Naval prestige admired. Our unrest is still pretty good. We're building 10 ships at the moment. And we're trying to pick some more fights with the Americans. Let's see the state of their situation here. They have 10 battleships, 14 heavy cruisers, 30 light cruisers. So still 68 ships compared to our 56 ships, but much stronger, of course. I do want to look at our fleet. Since we can go all the way up to these really big light or heavy cruisers now, I'm thinking it might be time to scrap some of our older heavy cruisers that are only half that size, 6,000 tons. So the Elster and the Scharnhorst in particular, I think it's time to go into ship design and build some new heavy cruisers to replace those. The frustrating thing, of course, with these heavy cruisers is I still have this old heavy cruiser hull, which really makes it difficult to do anything because so much of it's taken up in the center. You don't really have a lot of room. Can't even do the latest front tower technology, but I can get the 9-inch Mark III guns on there. We can get some 5-inch casemate guns, put some torpedo tubes with 17-inch torpedoes, and get, let's see, 23 knots of speed for about 65 million. So we'll go ahead and build up a few of those, replace some of our older ships that are ready to be decommissioned that are only half the displacement. We can only go up to 11,000 tons with this particular hull, though. So this is the same fleet that we just fought the last battle with, but we did separate out the 2 ships that had taken some damage and sent them home for repairs. We're taking on 2 more American battleships, 2 more heavy cruisers, a bunch of light cruisers, and I expect we'll have much the same result. We're coming in sight of the enemy fleet now. This time doing things a little different. I'm going to have this lone destroyer stay in close to the battleships, and when we get an opportunity, I'm going to send them on a little kamikaze run right at the enemy's big ships and see if we can just drop a whole slew of torpedoes at them, because these destroyers are the first ships I've built that have torpedo tubes on the deck, and I believe they've got enough to where they can fire 6 torpedoes at once, and they can do that 3 times. They've got 18 torpedoes. Meanwhile, we'll send the heavy and light cruisers over to this side, because that appears to be where his smaller ships are. You can see all the smoke there. We'll start slowing down the battleship, get a little more accuracy. I'm going to swing in here with the destroyer and get him on the inside of the battleship. And then we'll put up a little smoke to protect ourselves as we get close. Alright, let's slow down here because it looks like his fleet's headed straight for our heavy cruisers. So we want to be careful there. I think his battleships are over on this side in the center. Alright, we just lit up one of his light cruisers. That's good. Same thing with the heavy cruiser. Just put a big time hurting on the Columbus. Concord's toast. Alright, we'll keep the battleships going the direction they're going. I'm going to go ahead and start making my run toward his battleships with my destroyer. I don't know why the destroyer's only going... Oh, they're low on fuel because they didn't have the range to come over this way. So they're limited on speed. That actually hurts because the whole point of these destroyers is that they're fast and they can hopefully get in close and drop their torpedoes before they get lit up themselves. There goes the heavy cruiser Columbus. So we're not going to have the element of speed working in our favor. Alright, so our heavy... Oh, there goes another heavy cruiser, the Seattle. Our heavy and light cruisers are starting to swing around now. We're going to get at the main bulk of his smaller ship fleet. We're a little far from his battleships with our battleships, but I think we're still putting a hurting on him. Oh, we sank the Delaware. Well, no, so here's what's strange. So he's taken 6,200 in damage. Nothing bigger than a 9-inch shell. So all the damage has come from these heavy cruisers, the Limburg, the Sedlitz, and their 9-inch guns. Not a single one of those hits came from my battleships, but I do have the best shells for penetration. I put a premium on being able to penetrate with both our high explosive and our armor piercing shells. Alright, we're gonna have to swing out here because his light cruisers are coming at us. Alright, where's my destroyer got lit up. Doesn't have the speed, that's the problem. Alright, we're gonna try to still get at this battleship if we can. Sedlitz just took a hit, taking some damage. But our... Oh man, there goes the Mississippi. Same deal. They did take a couple of 13-inch hits, but still the main damage there was done by 6-inch guns. 24,000. That could have been the light cruisers. It was the light cruisers with their 6-inch guns. Doesn't matter how big the guns are, if they can penetrate the armor. And apparently they were able to do that. We did put some torpedoes in the water. I don't know how much success we're going to have with those. But his destroyers are gone, or his battleships are gone now, so my destroyer can't even really do anything at this point. So let's just get them out of there. Alright, our battleships now need to close the distance because we've taken out all the big ships. And honestly, it's been this squadron here. The heavy cruisers and the light cruisers that have been doing the work. Sedlis has taken some serious damage, though. Looks like we're dodging some torpedoes. There you go. There's some nice hits on the Long Beach. There goes the San Francisco. Man, I really did not expect these American battleships to get lit up by my cruisers so much. Now we're landing some hits with the battleships. Let's take a look at the Mecklenburg for a minute while it fires. Oh, beautiful. Those 8-inch guns just wiped out the Detroit. Alright, we're about to see the big guns fire. Flash fire on the Montpelier. Looks like it's one of his side guns. Bye-bye. I really find the flash fires satisfying. Now we gotta be careful here because this guy could put a torpedo into me and there's not a darn thing I can do about it. And the Sedlis might not be able to survive a torpedo, but he just put one into him. Alright, beautiful. This was an good old-fashioned butt whooping here is what that was. The American fleet, they are behind on technology, so they're not great in terms of tech. Or maybe below average, either below average or behind. Either way, it's bad tech. There's a torpedo. Oh, just gonna miss the Milwaukee. That was close. There goes the Northampton. Oh, Sideless is gonna... wow! Just took it right in the front. I think that's about it. There's a torpedo boat out there somewhere, but he's running. Final results, another 37,000 victory points, another 6,500 American sailors killed, and a couple more of my ships damaged, as I said before, but really not a huge deal. I think, though, at this point, I may send this fleet back just to refit, get their ammunition back up to snuff, get the rest of the ships that have been involved refit and repaired, because we're sending other ships over there at the moment. We've got a bunch of battleships already in the area, so where is that fleet? Is that this one here? No, that's just the Ulster going back to be decommissioned. These ones have not fought yet. Oh, these are the ones that are in New York, kind of watching the harbor. So that's the fleet we're going to send back, just to get them refit, repaired, ready to go again. I think we'll send them to Hamburg. All right, so we've got the heavy cruiser up to 12,500 displacement, and armored cruiser 3 is now available. So, and we also have a new ballistic capped shell available. So let's take a look at the ship design and see if this new design is any better than the previous ones as far as the heavy cruisers go. Do we finally have a heavy cruiser class that we can work with a little bit? Armored Cruiser 3, it's better. It's still not great, but you can see the Armored Cruiser 2 here. It's got a little more space for some things. And I don't know if we can finally go up to 12,500 or not. Looks like we can. So we're going to go ahead and design a new Elster class now to replace the one that we just scrapped. And his request on that is that it's an escort to deal with small ships. So rather than throwing the biggest gun we can find on this thing, what we want to go with is a lot of firepower that can deal with the smaller ships, but still get penetration. As we've seen, these heavy cruisers are definitely able to do. So these are Mark 3s, those are Mark 1. So it seems like 9 inch is still kind of the sweet spot, but we want smaller guns so they can fire more rapidly. So, for example, the 9 inch, decently accurate, 5,000 yards or 4.4% is the base accuracy. But reload time 38 seconds. 6 inch guns, not as accurate, and only 6 seconds difference on the accuracy. So honestly, I still think we'll go with the Mark III 9 inch guns. What would 10s get us? They're 10 seconds longer in firing, so I think we'll go with the 9s still. But what we want to do is we want to also throw on here a lot of secondaries. Some 5 inch guns would be fantastic. And it looks like we can't stick those on the side. Can we go with 4s on the side? No, we can't. Can we go with 3s on the side? Yes, we can. We can throw a whole bunch of 3s on this thing. That's what this is about, is firepower. Being able to take on those small ships, and throwing all those 3 inch guns on there will definitely do that. We're also going to want some speed. So at least 23 knots, I think. And then, of course, we'll have to adjust all this stuff. So also, for the first time, we now have radio available to be installed on our ships. That helps with gun aiming speed, with reconnaissance communication range, and flagship communication bonus. So that certainly is going to help with our command and control to have radios on board. Torpedoes, I don't know if we... Yeah, you know what? Let's at least stick a couple on the side. And then we'll go ahead and do the 17-inch torpedoes. I think beyond that, we'll just work on getting the armor where we want it and try to balance out the weight a little bit. Okay, we've maxed out range, maxed out bulkheads, given the crew spacious quarters this time, and we've got all the latest tech on our new Elster class. So we're going to go ahead and start firing up some of those. This should be interesting. We've just got 5 ships, but these are some of our ships that haven't had a chance to fight too much yet. So Jane Lou, that's one of our very first dreadnoughts that we built. The Gneisenau is another one. Then we've got some of our smaller battleships, the Aegir and the Rhineland, and then the Graf Spee, which is an Elster class heavy cruiser. I didn't realize that we had already made an Elster class. So the new heavy cruisers, which are twice this big, are also the Elster class. So that'll be interesting, because we're going up against Montana, South Dakota, Alabama, New Hampshire. But these battleships are 8,000 tons and one that's 12,000. These are not big ships. We should be able to blow them out of the water pretty quick. We're already in the action. We're already firing. 20% accuracy from this distance. I'm pretty happy with that. Do need to angle ourselves a little more so we can get the rear guns going. Already landed a nice hit. And we're just going to try to keep everybody together. I put the Graf Spee right at the end of this same row of ships. A lot of ships to take care of. We do have 8-inch and 4-inch guns on these lead battleships. All the 4s you can see right there, they're just coming around to start firing. South Dakota is going to be the first victim. That's one of his biggest battleships. I think it is the biggest in this fleet. The rest of them are all pretty small. We're just going to stay right in a row here. All of his ships are all kind of bunched up. Stay in a row and get the best accuracy we can, which right now is not great. It's about 9%. because these smaller ships are harder to hit. But oh, we just landed a nice hit on the San Diego. We sank something that we can't even see. I think that might have been the battleship, the South Dakota. We just lost sight of it. We're just out of his range for the 6-inch guns on the Montana, at least the lead ship is. I think we're just going to circle them like sharks and just pick them off one at a time. Just took out the Montana and the Kansas. Major flash fire happened over here on the Montana. It's not a very big battleship. I mean, those battleships are smaller than my heavy cruisers are now. I can almost build light cruisers as big as those battleships. Still have a lot of ships to take out, though. And the smaller ones, the accuracy with my big guns is going to be a problem. Alright, let's see if we can just put everybody on trying to take out the New Hampshire with our big guns. Yeah, I think we got him with the flooding. Taking on water big time. Bye-bye. Honestly, these American fleets just have no chance against me. They just don't have the technology or the size to take on my newer ships. I'm going to try to move in a little closer. So I brought the fleet around. We're making a turn here, and we're getting in closer. I one-shotted the Phoenix, which was a light cruiser. I was actually firing at the South Dakota, which is still afloat. And I overshot the South Dakota and hit the Phoenix, killed it with one shot, and there goes the South Dakota now. No, we're not ending the battle yet. Are you crazy? There are way too many ships still to be sunk. Alright, his light cruiser's making a torpedo run on me here. This could be a problem. Because we're not sinking it quite fast enough. There he goes. He put a torpedo in the water. Braunschweig's going to take it. Oh, right in the center. But we do have torpedo protection on these newer battleships. So, and here comes a torpedo boat. He's going to come right in and put one on the Aguirre. Nothing I can do about that either. Didn't do a lot of damage, though. These ships are just built too strong to be heavily damaged by one or two torpedoes. I do want to take out a few of these light cruisers before we finish this. Starting to finish up on these last few light cruisers. We've been one-shotting them. Every time we land a salvo from the 13-inch guns, it sinks the ship. So as long as the accuracy is there, the ships die. I think we'll probably let these torpedo boats go. I'm not going to spend too much time trying to take them out. We've gotten all of his big ships. Looks like we've got 2 light cruisers left. The Memphis and the Reno. So as soon as we take... Oh, there's a couple of heavy cruisers back there. Oh, let's not let them get away. Yeah, we'll go after them. Even at this distance, we've already landed some big hits on the Missoula. So I don't think it's going to take very long. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and slow back down a little bit so we can get better accuracy. We're already at 15% and climbing. That's a big hit, just came in on the Scranton. I think we sank the Scranton. Nah, they stabilized. Unless this flooding spreads. I think it's going to take a little more. We just need to... Oh no, the flooding is spreading. We just need to penetrate these last couple. No, we got them. We got them. Scranton's done. Now it's all about the Missoula. With 4 battleships and a heavy cruiser, putting everything they've got. We're going to have to take on the British at some point because none of these other navies are any match for us right now. That was beautiful. That's another 51,000 victory points. It's another 8,000 crew lost. 4 battleships. My goodness. So as we wrap up this episode, let's take a look and see where we're at. The British are building 42 ships. They do have 19 battleships and 38 heavy cruisers. We've got 13 battleships and just 15 heavy cruisers. But we have almost 500,000 in tonnage. The British are only at 553. So our battleships, I think, by and large, are bigger than theirs, just because of the tonnage issue. Naval budget's up to $8 billion for us. He's at $17 billion. So instead of being a third of his naval budget, we're now half. He has almost $13 billion in naval funds, though, so he could just crank out ships like crazy right now. I'm looking at oil capacities pretty close to the same. Let's look at the Americans now. Just 4 battleships, 6 heavy cruisers, 6 light cruisers, and 3 torpedo boats left, but they are building 33 ships. We might try and go for peace with the Americans. Let's see what happens. For some reason, France wants to go at it again, so I guess we are just going to go to war with France. Hopefully we can take some land this time from them. Dreadnought 3 hull now available. That's interesting. Our peace efforts with the United States did not work. So that's still going, and now we're at war with the French again. So let's go ahead, I guess, and first of all, we need to start working on our shipyard building again, start ramping that up, because we are at 40,000. And the way we're going with our research and design, we're going to probably start getting ships that big before too long. So let's go to ship design. Take a look at this Dreadnought 3 hull. Dreadnought 3 can go all the way up to 34,000 tons. We definitely need to build one, see what we can come up with. Now I'm wishing we had bigger guns than 13s. Alright, so this is what we came up with on this one. It's pretty interesting. Still only can do the 13-inch guns, so we'll put 2 on the back, 2 on the front. Also got some 8-inch guns way up in the front and 1 right here as well. We've got some 6s over here on the side. We've got a bunch of 8-inch casemate guns. So all in all, that gives us a total of 8 13-inch barrels, 16 8-inch barrels. Actually, no, 16. We've actually got 20 8-inch barrels and 4 6-inch barrels. So a lot of firepower. Not a ton of armor on this one, and it's not real fast because it just got heavy really, really fast, and I couldn't put more speed on it. But it'll be a nice mix with the latest technology. It's going to have some better things like advanced radio that the other ones didn't have, better shells. So some new things, auxiliary engine, that sort of stuff. But we're going to wrap it up right there. We'll start queuing up a few of these newest battleships, and we'll come back again soon with another episode taking on the Americans and the French. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching.